Good morning everyone. Today me, Rajat Sharma and Sonali Chauhan are going to present our project of diving to you guys. So I hope you guys will enjoy it. So thank you and let's start with the video. Presentation of festivals and sporting event diving. So let's start. Diving is a sport that involves plunging into water, usually head first, and performing gymnastics and acrobatic stunts in its more complicated acrobatic form. Being a gymnast's hobby in Europe in the early 19th century, it became a competitive sport in the late 19th century. Now let's talk about some history. Since ancient times, diving has been a popular hobby all over the world. The first contemporary diving competitions were conducted in England in the 1880s. The sport's original roots are unknown. However, it is thought to have evolved from the act of diving at the start of swimming events. Diving sports of plunging into water originated in Europe early 19th century as a diversion of gymnasts and as a competitive sports in the late 19th century. It became a part of swimming program of the Olympic Games in 1904 and developed rapidly throughout the first half of the 20th century. Now we will talk about some types of diving: forward dive, backward dive, reverse dive, inward dive, twisting dive, and arm stand dive. Types of diving: forward dive, a dive in which the diver springs his or her body forward after leaving the springboard slash platform toward the open water. Backward dive. In the backward dive, the diver stands at the edge of the platform facing away from the water, then springs and rotates backwards. Reverse dive. One of the competitive diving in which the body rotates backwards around a transitive axis from a front takeoff. Inward diving. Inward diving in which the body from a backward standing takeoff position rotates position itself after rotating forward around a transitive axis. Twisting dive. In this, the body forms a standing or running approach around both a transverse and longitudinal axis. Then, arm stand dive. A dive standing from a handstand at the end of the springboard or a platform with the diver's back at the water. Now let's talk about some diving equipment: masks, dry suits, snorkel, underwater or dive watch or fins. Mask, eyes and nose covering device, also known as eye protector, which allows you to see underwater. Then snorkel, device used to breathe air close to or on the surface of water. Dry suit, which is also known as wetsuit or bodysuit, used to keep the diver dry and warm in the colder temperatures. Underwater watch or dive watch tells the diver the depth of the water as well as works as a timer, stopwatch, and etc. Fins, which allows the wearer to extend their feet and kicking motion underwater. Earplugs. These earplugs protect the diver's ears in the water and prevents any water to get in them. Let's talk about description of diving and venues requirement. Diving is an acrobatic sport that involves jumping or falling into water from a platform or springboard. Diving is an Olympic sport that is widely recognized around the world. Unstructured and non-competitive diving is also a recreational activities. Divers also use skills like gymnastics and acrobatics while diving to make their dive fall look more elegant and presentable to get good scores. Now let's talk about how to dive. Stand with toes of one or both feet curled over the edge of the dive board. This will help prevent slipping on the wet surface. Lock the hands and arms together as well as the head. Then jump off the board into the water. After jumping, glide yourself in proper position and make sure to glide into the water at a 90-degree angle to avoid any injuries, as you can see in the background of this slide. Scoring the dive. The scoring of a dive is governed by rules. In most cases, a score is based on three aspects of the dive: the appearance, flight, and entry. The following are the key factors that influence the scoring. If the handstand is required, the duration and quality of the grip must be considered. The diver's height at the apex of the dive, with additional height resulting in a better score. The diver's distance from the dive board or the diving board throughout the dive. Ideally, a diver should neither be dangerously close to the diving board nor should he be too far away. Ideally, he should be within 2 feet. The diver's body position, which includes pointed toes and feet touching at all times according to the dive being done. Upon completion of the dive and immersion into water, the proper amount of rotation and revolution, the angle of diver when he or she entered the water should be straight with no angle. Now let's talk about group diving rules. In the synchronization, scores are based on time of takeoff, height attained, synchronization of the rotation and twists, time of entry to the water, as well as forward travel from the board. Now, the rest of the slides will be explained by Sonali Chauhan. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rajat. Now let's continue where we left from. Venue. The design of a world class diving venue requires deep knowledge of the diving facilities and their guidelines, diving competition rules, and the intricate interactions between divers and their equipments. Dive pool. The pool should be deep enough to ensure the safety of the diver, and the temperature of the water should be 78 to 82-degree range. The pool should be at least 5 meters for a 10-meter dive platform. Platform tower and springboard. There are two kinds of diving competition: springboard and platform. Springboard competition takes place at 1 meter and 3-meter heights. These competition springboard are typically placed on the same side of the pool as the platforms. Platform diving competition takes place at 10 meters, though 1, 3, 5, 7.5, and 10-meter heights are also typically provided for training and warm ups. Occasionally, a meter platform is constructed for divers to practice takeoffs. Dark colored bottom. Divers can lose their senses if there is no color difference between the pool and the natatorium ceiling or sky while they flip or rotate. The bottom of the diving pool should be a dark color, often dark blue or black, and the walls should be white according to USA Diving. Spargers and water surface equipment. Spargers are the air bubbling systems that are utilized for diving practice. These piece of this piece of equipment releases air directly underneath the path of the divers travel to soften their impact with the surface of the water. Spa or shower, a desired feature at all major diving facilities. A spa allows divers to relax their muscles before or after dives. The spa should be able to accommodate at least 8 divers with water temperatures between 102 and 104 degrees. Then there are large stair system. A big stair system is present in all world-class diving pools for an easy exit after a dive. Typically, the stair system reaches 4 feet below the water's surface. If a 3 centerline tower is used, stair systems can be situated directly below the 10-meter platform, or different location can be used if a 2 centerline tower is used. Diving harness, or that is called a spotting rig. In the dive pool, diving coaches prefer to use a diving harness and sporting equipment. Two diving harnesses and sporting rigs may be installed over one springboard and one platform at elite facilities because a spotter can keep divers in the air where they can try new dives without the risk of injury and full impact with pool surface. Then there is spectator seating. A spectator's finest view of a diving competition is from the side. Being elevated in a staircase is also useful. Some competitions are held with only temporary seating, and huge world class diving competitions have lately been organized with a temporary pools in front of 10,000 or more spectators. Now, the governing bodies for diving. For Ontario, there is Dive Ontario. For Canada, it's the Diver Certification Board of Canada. For India, the governing body is the Swimming Federation of India. For USA, it's USA Swimming. And the international governing body, FINA, Fédération Internationale de Natation. Now, national competitions. There are four national championships in Canada for the sport of diving. They are Speedo Junior Development Nationals, Speedo Junior Elite Nationals, and for seniors, there are Winter Senior National Championships and there are Summer Senior National Championships. International contests. A number of diving competitions are Pan American Games, European Diving Championships, FINA World Aquatics Championships, Asian Games, Central American and Caribbean Games, Commonwealth Games, Islamic Solidarity Games, Friendship Games, Summer Universiade, Summer Olympics. The greatest of all time. There are a lot of divers who've reached heights in the field of diving, but the greatest of them all is Greg Louganis. In full, Gregory Efthymios Louganis. He is currently 61 and he is the only man in history to sweep the diving events in consecutive Olympic Games. He has been called both the greatest American diver and the greatest diver in history. Here is his medal record. Here are our references. The first one is athleticbusiness.com, then there's swimming.org, then there's Wikipedia, then for scuba divers, and the last one is dive site. Well, that was it, and I hope you liked our presentation. Thank you for watching and have a good day.